Hello and welcome back to UIW TV. I'm Joey Gonzalez and it's time to talk UIW sports. Over the weekend, UIW baseball improved to 7-1 with a series sweep against Texas Southern University. The win marked the second consecutive series win to begin the 2025 season. The Cardinals have also shined offensively, averaging 12.5 runs per game, becoming the first team in the nation to record 100 runs. The UIW bats have also earned praise around the country, leading the NCAA in batting average, hits, and doubles. The Cardinals will be back in action this weekend at Sullivan Field when they host Houston Christian University for the Southland Conference Series opener. All three games will be broadcasted live on ESPN Plus, with Friday's first pitch scheduled to begin at 2:05 p.m. Switching gears to the world of F1, Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari debut at the Australian Grand Prix did not go as planned. Hamilton started in 8th, then finished in 10th thanks to a poor strategy called to stay out on the hard tires in the rain. Hamilton admitted it was a lot worse than expected, but focused on improving at the Chinese Grand Prix this Sunday. With dry conditions expected in Shanghai, Hamilton is hopeful for a better performance, particularly with tire management. Hey Ryan fans, I'm here with the 31st overall pick, Ryan Waldschmidt. And Ryan, first off, welcome to Visalia. What have been your initial thoughts on it?
Oh, it's been awesome so far. It's been really good to settle down in a place and just kind of get a feel for everything again. And you know, it's been awesome playing here. This ballpark's pretty unique. It's pretty cool. So I've had a great time so far in my first few games.
I got to ask the first major difference. I mean, obviously the college level, you're playing with the metal bat, high school as well. Now you're playing with the wood bat. How much of an adjustment has that been for you?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of a learning curve. You know, you don't get as much give or forgiveness with some balls that you hit, but you know that's part of it. You know, you got to learn to consistently barrel up the ball and make good contact. So I think the wood bat really gives you good feedback with that.
You came from the Kentucky Wildcats, where you also played in the College World Series. What was that experience like?
It was awesome. You know, it's a childhood dream to be there. For one, just to be able to see it and be a fan, but it's a whole nother level to be a player in it. And you know, it's one of those things as a college player that's what you look forward to in your college career, is being able to be there one day. And to be there with a team like we had, it was really special.
Let's talk about your journey here to Visalia. In your high school time, suffered an injury. Also, during your time in the Cape Cod League, you suffered an injury as well. I mean, that's got to be a mental thing. So how were you able to kind of readjust and keep focused on that goal of one day making the majors?
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's just always staying positive and just keep pushing and working towards getting better every day. And you know, the two injuries I had were pretty freak accidents. So for me, it's kind of just looking past those and just continuing to play hard like I always do. And if something does happen, at least I can go to bed at night knowing that I was playing hard and I gave it everything I had. So for me, it's just continuing to do that and just playing the game with trying to flush away any injuries or any negative thoughts that might be in my head and just continuing to push and just grow as a player.
Last question, with less than 4 weeks to go in the season, are there anything specific that you're working on as the season comes to a close?
Yeah, for sure. You know, finishing our season a couple months ago, just getting back into games again, it's just really good for me just to get some timing down, get some reps in again. And for me, it's just kind of working on being on time and just working to the middle of the field and just trying to get consistent, hard contact.
Well, Ryan, thank you for your time and looking forward to seeing what you're going to do this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Hey, Rawhide fans, I'm here with Ricardo Yan, right-handed pitcher for the Rawhide, joined by translator and pitching coach Tyler Mark. Ricardo, it's your first season here in Visalia. How have you enjoyed pitching here at home?
Tu primer año aquí en Visalia, ¿cómo te gusta la experiencia pichando en Visalia en la Liga de California?
No, me siento bien porque es un ambiente diferente de lo que yo he pichado anteriormente y me siento bien estando aquí.
I feel good about being here, a little change of scenery, and it's always good to keep climbing levels, so I just want to see how my stuff plays here.
We've had some new pitchers come and go. Christian Serta got called up, David Martin as well. How do you establish those connections with some of the newer catchers?
So había los dos catchers aquí, había Martin y Cerda. Ahora tú tienes Kenny Castillo y Logan. ¿Cómo estás trabajando con ellos?
Nada, yo con los queches anteriores ya tenía un plan de trabajo, entonces ahora con los nuevos queches voy a buscar la forma de hacer mi ajuste y seguir trabajando con ellos.
Yeah. We had a good plan with Serta and Martin here, but then now with Kenny and Logan, he's thrown to them in spring training and stuff. So just kind of relaying that information and just keep the ball moving.
Ricardo, you're one of the top 10 strikeout pitchers in the Cal League. We wanted to talk about your slider grip, so if you could just show the camera your grip, and then if we could see a couple of your pitches.
Tú eres uno de los mejores pitchers aquí para ponchar en la Liga de California, y eso es usando tu slider, so entiende la cámara de tu agarre y lo agarre de todos los picheos.
Yo agarro así el slider,
That's how he grips his
fastball,
fastball right there,
corre,
cutter,
y change.
and his changeup.
All right, if we could just see a couple of those pitches.
Sí. Perfect. Ahora voy. And then slider aquí. Está en cámara. Tira atrás. Yes. Ahora voy.
Final question, just want to talk about more of the release point. We've focused on the grip now. Kind of where do you focus on your release, on basically all your pitches?
Como tu ángulo de brazo es algo diferente, como tú enfoque, como tira tu picheo de ese ángulo de brazo.
El enfoque es tratar de hacer buena mecánica, buena combinación y tratar de terminar los picheos en el punto.
Just repeating his delivery and then just trying to match release point with every pitch that he has. Like not trying to create any movement and just starting. The starting points are just big for him because his ball moves so much. So just keep focusing on that and just try to get the ball in zone as much as possible.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Tyler, for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your pitching breakdown with Ricardo Yan.
Heyman pass inside. Sean Robinson, he got that ball stripped away. It is a late foul, so Robinson going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
It's a really nice pass there from Dylan Heyman, really moving the zone and finding Sean Robinson at that low block right in the middle and unable to go up with strong for the dunk, but it'll be a foul, the second on the Demons.
Sean Robinson was a guy who did not originally start the season as he was sidelined with injury, but a guy who's played at several notable schools, Ole Miss, San Jose State, and Austin PA as well.
Yeah, we talk about journeyman for this Northwestern State team with all the transfers and stops. Sean Robinson's another guy that's been a journeyman. Just, you mentioned all the spots. This is his fourth or fifth different school. This is a guy, too, coming out of high school, 4-star prospect, one of those top 100 players. He just hasn't stayed healthy enough, and he's one of those players last year for Incarnate Word. If he was just healthy, this team was going to be a lot better than where they finished at.
Coach Hireman mentioned if he is a guy that could be healthy, he's a guy that can consistently spread the floor for them and make them a larger team.
Exactly, and they're starting to get their full roster back with Lamine Sabali getting his first game played, getting a rebound right there. Second game played now here today. So if they could just be fully healthy, watch out for this Cardinal team.
We saw Sean Robinson, one of the guys we just mentioned, he fired the 3. As Sam mentioned, Sabali in the ball game as well, as he made his season debut in their last matchup as well against Western Illinois. Pass back out to the 3-point line. That one's fired from way downtown, off the mark, and it's Davion Bailey who's able to grab the missed shot. Anderson will bring the ball up the floor with 6 minutes gone by here in this opening stages of the ball game. It's Lamine Sabali with possession. Back out the 3-point line. Driving in is Dylan Heyman. 3 defenders around. What a play by Dylan Heyman.
It's a beautiful move there by Dylan Heyman, getting someone up in space, playing off of 2 feet. Very hard to do, and you're seeing the maturity there from the senior from California.
A bounce pass over to the wing. Dylan Heyman bringing UIW back within 3 points. It's Love Bettis who hands it off to his teammate Micah Thomas. Northwestern State looking to get their first bucket since the timeout. The drive in from the left wing, 3-point away. A foul called. And going to the free throw line for 3 is going to be number 5, Micah Thomas.
Yeah, and Jalen Anderson just bailed out Northwestern State there. 1 second on the shot clock. Just a heave there by Micah Thomas. And just, those are the little things. High IQ player from a graduate transfer that he's got to make sure he doesn't do, because that's 3 free throws now for Thomas.
Coach Hireman mentioned, especially the perimeter defense. He said we can't shut our brains off during possessions. We got to play the full 30-second duration of that shot clock.
And that was a good example of it. Good job by initial defense through the majority of the shot clock. They just have not been able to finish possessions, whether that be a defensive breakdown, not finishing with a rebound, or one of those late fouls that bails out the offense.
Second free throw on the way, and that one is good. So Northwestern State back up by 6. Sam, we talk about that 3-game road trip that UIW is coming off as that ball goes out of bounds. Remain UIW basketball. But that 3-game road trip, they had a loss against South Alabama. They also had a near win against Northern Arizona. But the big thing was the step back that they suffered during that South Alabama loss.
Yeah, and that was their first bad game they played. You look at Cal Baptist, you're up on the road in a season opener and necessarily a bye game. Cal Baptist is paying UIW to come in, and they're almost taking a victory out, unable to finish. The exact opposite happened at Northern Arizona. Get down by 18, come back to have a chance to win up by 4, just couldn't close it out there in Arizona. South Alabama was the first setback for this team, but they responded greatly in the win versus Western Illinois. It's right now they haven't come out of the games the same way here at home today.
Drive in, shot off the glass, and is a Northwestern State up with one of their largest leads of the bowl game at 8. But he did mention after that South Alabama loss, it was one of their best practices of the year.
Yeah, that's a good thing because, hey, you get a bad taste out of your mouth with that loss, but right now they're looking for answers here on the floor right now.
Northwestern State by 8 with 13 minutes to go here in this first half. Now pass it back out at the 3-point line. It's on possession, number 11, Chris Mubrio. It's JT Warren on possession. A quick handoff at the 3-point line. 3 guys around, and another foul is drawn by Northwestern State inside, something that they want to emphasize in today's game.
Yeah, they've been attacking the basket. And when you attack the basket, not only do you put the defense in a difficult spot, but you also put the officials in a difficult spot. You see 3 red jerseys jumping for the ball. Most times when you got that, you're going to get a whistle. And 2 more free throws coming for Micah Thomas.
So Thomas gets to go to the line for 1 of 2 after the shooting foul. And that one rattles off the front of the rim and it ends up bouncing in. 13-4 here in half number 1. You talk about Micah Thomas at the free throw line so far here in 2024. He'd only gone into the line for 1 trip. He's 2 for 2 entering today's ball game. Thomas will get ready for his second free throw, looking to give Northwestern State a 10-point lead with 12:55 to go in the half, and that one touches the bottom of the net, 14-4.
Here comes that full court pressure once again. This just more of the time to slow this UIW offense down, getting them out of rhythm, because right now they haven't handled the pressure very well.
That's another example of it right there, a turnover. Here comes Northwestern State. Losing possession on the way up. It'll be UIW basketball. But, Sam, there's another example of strength in numbers for Northwestern State.
Yeah, and for right now, Coach Hireman talked to us about poise. This is a team coming into today that was only averaging just about 10 turnovers per game. One of the best marks in the Southland Conference. Not turning the ball over, doing a good job of taking care of it. Well, right now, they are doing a poor job, and it's only been 8 minutes, and they're already close to that season average.
We got to find a way to kind of get things going on the offensive side of the ball. Jalen Anderson has it at the top of the key. He looks to drive in. Trapped at the perimeter. Jordan Pike spins in. The right-hand lay is good, and Jordan Pike's first bucket of the ball game.
It's just a great move there by Jordan Pike, going one-on-one, using the size advantage to his strength, 6'7", getting all the way to the rim. Good job to end this scoring drought for UIW.
Jordan Pike with the minimal minutes that he played in the ball game just a couple days ago. Is 3 for 3 from the field, a no foul called, and the referees will let him play on. Heyman nearly loses possession, and it will be UIW basketball. Head coach Rick Cabrera thought it was going to be out on UIW. It remains their basketball. We take a timeout for Northwestern State with a 14-6 lead over UIW, watching Southland Conference men's basketball on ESPN+.
Well, back to Rawhide baseball. First pitch on the way to Kenny Castillo. And it's in there for a strike, 0-1. It'll be the middle of the Rawhide order. Kenny Castillo, Drew Jones, and Ben McLaughlin here in the frame. Upcoming deal on the way, and that one is inside for a ball from Ismael Luciano, who's up to 22 pitches here in this ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike, with no outs. Luciano will get ready for the deal home to Castillo. And Kenny will foul that one back to the left side. Count now 1-2. Kenny's batting .294, 4 home runs, 53 RBIs here in 2024. A top 10 clip in the California League when it comes to batting averages. Kenny's ranked 2nd in front of the former Fresno Grizzly, now Spokane Indian, Andy Perez, who ranked 3rd at a .292 clip. And now Kenny tries to go opposite field, tailing towards the right field foul pole, and it will land over the pasture in right field. Kid in the white shirt, late read on it, but he saw and heard it bounce behind him. Yeah, quickly ran after it. We'll get some fans of the foul ball over underneath the shaded area out there in the pasture. 1 ball, 2 strikes with no outs. Here comes the deal to Kenny, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Kenny will be the first strikeout of the ball game for Luciano. 1 down in the frame brings up Drew Jones to the plate. Let's get ready to go through the starting defense. Darius Perry behind the plate. Juan Castillo over at first. Tevin Tucker is the second baseman. Meanwhile, at short is Braylon Wimmer. Luis Mendez will be the third baseman. And then Brad Compass in left field. Caleb Hobson in center. And then lastly, it is Felix Tana out in right field. Pitch on the way to Drew Jones, and that one is outside for ball 1-0. There's another look at the defense once again. Lastly, the DH for tonight's ball game is Blake Wright, who just hit his first professional home run in the top half of the frame. Jones will give that a ride into center field. A long run for Hobson in center, and he has a giveaway at the last second to prevent colliding with the wall. Drew Jones has 3 on his mind, and he will slide feet first into third base, and it is the Rawhide first hit of the ball game, brought to you by Rosa Brothers Milk Company. With Rosa Brothers, every sip is special. Moo! You see the run there from Hobson. Last second, he has a give up on it. Bounces right on the warning track and drew a really, really nice turnover at second base, and that is what propels him over to third base in time. It's Drew's 7th triple of the season, and now it brings up Ben McLaughlin to the plate, who's already got 13 RBIs on the year. The 1-out pitch on the way to Ben. And he lifts that one into left field. Should be enough to score Jones from third. Backing up at the wall, and that ball is gone. See you later. A 2-run home run for Ben McLaughlin, and his 2nd professional home run, and the Rawhider back within a run. Ben McLaughlin goes opposite field for the no-doubt shot, and he'll celebrate with Drew Jones out at home plate.
Like I said, 205, you've been my favorite today, so you're going to get some free cones in section 205.
He saw the run from Brad Compass looking up at the wall, and that one gets up into the netting. And now it brings up Alberto Barriga, who will make his first single-A at bat at home. First pitch on the way, and that one is upstairs for a ball 1-0. And that's got to get the Rawhide fans juice back into this ball game, as the Rawhide were yet to have a home run in this series. First pitch was outside. Second pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. Talk about Barriga last week against Inland Empire. He had 1 at-bat against the Sixers. The 1-1 pitch on the way, and that one is upstairs for a ball. The count now 2-1. In that ball game last week against Inland Empire as a pinch hitter, 2 at-bats, no hits and no runs. He struck out twice in that ball game. And now a ground ball through the left side of the infield. It's his first single-A base hit. He'll round first base and go to second. And the Rawhide DH will have a double with one down in the frame, bringing Anderson Rojas to the plate. 3 straight extra base hits for Visalia after the leadoff strikeout to Kenny Castillo.
209, but not the box.
That ball ended up rolling into the bullpen out in left field. So Barriga will have the handoff over to the bat boy to give off his equipment. And it is Anderson Rojas at the plate, and he's the guy who can pull the ball over to that right side if he's able to draw some good contact off of it.
Now at the plate, number 35, Anderson Rojas.
No balls seem to bounce in Visalia's favor in last night's ball game. And today, some nice contact already here in the first 2 frames. Here's a pitch on the way to Rojas, and that one's in there for a strike 0-1. Anderson Rojas batting .248 with 5 home runs and 43 RBIs. He's also had 31 stolen bases on the year, which is top 10 in the Cal League. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Barriga a small lead at second. Here's the deal home. And Rojas a wave and a miss for strike number 2. Rojas will get ready for the pitch. 5'10", 150, the 20-year-old lefty out of Dajaban, Dominican Republic. And now Rojas gets a piece of that one and fouls it backwards. His 4th year in the Diamondbacks organization, year number 1 in 2021. He's been out in the Dominican Summer League where he played in 47 games. He had 31 hits during that time. He was batting .209 before making his way out stateside in 2022. He'd played in 32 games in the DSL before arriving in Arizona and playing in 12 games. He finished with the 179 clip through those 12 games. That was the lowest batting average during his professional career. Last year in 2023, at the beginning of May, he would get assigned to Visalia. He would complete the whole year with the Rawhide, and he'd bat .249 that year. So far in 2024, he's batting .248. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 away. Here's a pitch to Rojas, and that one's a bit high and outside for ball 2, 2-2.
Those free cones coming to 205 in the in and out car.
Take a look at the replay there, and just at the very top of the zone, somehow missed a little bit. So Rojas would get ready for another pitch right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Anderson Rojas, a swing and a miss. So Ismael Luciano will have his 2nd strikeout of the ball game and send it back to the top of the Rawhide order in the form of Yancel Luis. Luis, last week, he was 6 for 27 against the Inland Empire 66ers. You talk about that series last week for Visalia. Luis had the 2nd most hits, right behind Dimitro Crisantes, who had 7 last week. Crisantes batted .333 in the series out at San Manuel Stadium. Last week, Yancel Luis, 12 total bases, 3 RBIs, and 4 walks. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 away. Luis will get ready for the deal from Luciano, and he'll take that one inside on a heavy breaking ball. Barriga will stand over at second base. 2-0 with 2 away. Yancel Luis in yesterday's ball game, he was 1 for 4 with a triple, a run, and a walk. Luis already in this ball game, a walk and a stolen base. The Raleigh team has been very aggressive on the base paths here in the second half of the season. And now Luis will watch that one miss outside for ball 3, 3-0, trying to hand it off to Christopher Toreen. Toreen, Castillo, Jones, all top 5 players on this Rawhide team when you talk about RBIs. Rawhide already 3 hits here in this inning. All 3 of them have been extra base hits. Here's the deal to Luis. And that one is inside for ball 4. Says the home plate umpire, Zach Hovick. A 4-pitch walk to Luis is his 2nd of the night. And that walk is brought to you by JP Electric and Solar, Vitalia's #1 electric and solar company. Learn more at jpsolar.com. And it brings up Christopher Toreen to the plate, who last time out hit a little line drive over to the first baseman, Juan Castillo. And now for the first time in this ball game, we'll see the pitching coach, Jerry Sullivan, make his way out to the mound. This mound is brought to you by locally owned Sierra Meadows Behavioral Health. Reminding you that a good therapist is like a great coach, and sometimes all we need is someone to talk to. Sierra Meadows Behavioral Health, now open in Visalia. So recapping this inning so far, Kenny Castillo was the first batter of the frame. He struck out swinging. Then after that, Drew Jones, a one-out triple. One batter later, Ben McLaughlin, a two-run home run, his second professional home run. Then Alberto Barriga, in his first single-A home at-bat, hits the ball through the left side of the infield, just past the third base bag for a double. Anderson Rojas strikes out for the second out of the inning. And then Yancel Luis just drew a 4-pitch walk. So you got two down in the frame, and you got Alberto Barriga at second and Yancel Luis at first. The right-on-right matchup, first pitch on the way, a really nice breaker and a very decent block there by Darius Perry, who gets down to the knees and is able to let that ball bounce off the chest and keep it in front of him. This is a Fresno team from the outfield of the catchers who have been a very good defensive team this year. They have the best fielding percentage in the entire California League at a .975 clip. And now Toreen will foul that one backwards. The count now 1-1. You look at the numbers and you think this should be a fairly tight series. The Rawhide, their fielding percentage, a .973. That's tied for the second best in the Cal League. The only other team with the same clip as .973, the Inland Empire 66ers. 1-1 with two-way. Upcoming pitch on the way to Toreen. And that one's bounced outside. And already in this inning, we've seen some nice defensive stops here from Darius Perry. You talk about pitching. It's a Fresno team who is one place in front of Visalia at a .405 ERA. Meanwhile, for the Rawhide, they have a .444 ERA. But they are the kings of the California League with 1,276 strikeouts as this Rawhide team. They were the first team in all of minor league baseball to record 1,000 strikeouts here in 2024. And really, the Arizona Diamondbacks organization has been a very good organization when it comes to pitching so far this season. You look out at Hillsboro earlier this year out in June. It was a team who was top 5 in all of minor league baseball in terms of ERA. 2-2 pitch, grounded through the left side of the infield. Barriga around third base. He will come home to score. It'll be cut off by the shortstop, Braylon Wimmer, and it is an RBI single for Toreen, and the Rawhide have tied up the ball game 3-3 in the bottom half of the second inning. Off the end of the bat and enough to drive it through the infield, and now it brings up Demetrio Crisantes to the plate. We were just talking about earlier, Demetrio Crisantes, a top 15 prospect in the Diamondbacks organization, and this is where the ranking comes from. Big opportunities like this. He's looking for his 37th run batted in of the season with 2 down. Luciano will stare down Crisantes. The first pitch on the way. That one's a bit outside, but it is in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Crisantes so far this season against right-handed pitching, he's batting .335 with 29 of his 36 RBIs coming against right-handers. And Crisantes takes the first 2 pitches of the at-bat in there for a strike, 0-2. Now the catcher Darius Perry will make his way from behind home plate and give the instructions here to his infield. We talk about another scenario for Crisantes with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's batting .263 with 8 RBIs. 0-2 pitch on the way, off the end of the bat, ground ball to the right side. It'll be fielded by Tucker. His toss to first base is in time, and the inning will come to a conclusion, but not before the Rawhide answer back with 3 runs of their own in the bottom half of the second inning. An 8-batter frame for Visalia, including 3 extra base hits. We head to the top half of inning number 3. Fresno 3, Visalia 3. You're watching Rawhide Baseball on MyTV 53.